again, my friends. In the second reading, we're reminded that we may have to go through a trial, a time of testing, which proves our faith, which strengthens us. One of the things consistently throughout the scriptures is Jesus breaks the social barriers, right? He touches those that he interacts with. Remember the man who's blind and cannot hear. He makes a paste for the blind man with the saliva and the dirt, and he puts it on his eyes, physically touching him. He takes the deaf man to the side, away from others. He puts his finger in his ear. What about you? But that is about as personal as it can get if your little brother or sister sticks their finger in your ear. Jesus is about touching, about contact, about physically being present to his people. And that's why it's so important to dwell on the priesthood. This physical manifestation of Jesus, the alter Christus, other Christ, through the miracle, the blessed sacrament of holy orders, Jesus comes in time to us to minister his grace, to distribute his mercy. The priesthood is an extenuation of Jesus' divine mercy. We heard earlier that the mercy of God is everlasting. And so, today, in this Divine Mercy Sunday, Jesus wants to continue his personal touch, his living experience with his people. He does that through, of course, the Holy Eucharist, the living, true presence of Jesus Christ, the smallest particle of which represents the soul and divinity of Christ. That's why we go to so many pains with the corporals, the purificators, the purification rites, the cleansing of the vessels, the consuming of the water that's used to purify the vessels, so that every part of Jesus is consumed. He reaches the destination he chose when he consecrated the bread and wine into the body and blood, his body and blood, the sacrifice of the altar, which would not be complete without the sacrifice of the cross, the unblemished lamb. And so we rejoice in the ministerial priesthood as baptized citizens of Jesus Christ's kingdom. We are all baptized as priest, prophet, and king. We all are called to be prophetic in our actions, to proclaim the good news, to talk about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, to proclaim our faith and our actions, to teach others about the Ten Commandments, the great commandment of how to love one another, even love our enemies. And then, of course, the priesthood. We bring Christ to others because he is within us. He lives in us. And as we reach out in the corporal and the spiritual works of mercy, we find ourselves participating in the mission of Christ, claiming that he is risen, that he wants to be with each one of his people. And by the lives we lead, hopefully, we attract others to Jesus Christ and his one true church. Simply close by saying that Jesus says to us today in the scriptures, what sins you hold bound are held bound. What sins you release are released. And without a doubt, we know in the experience of Jesus in the sacrament of reconciliation, our sins are forgiven. Not just forgiven, but forgotten. And the damage that those sins did to us are repaired and healed in the healing sacrament. Not only that, but we're given grace upon grace, so that when we leave that room or that drive-up confession or wherever you guys have been able to go the last time you went, we know without a doubt that not only are we forgiven of our sins and made new, but we have the grace and the strength to go and sin no more. Jesus says to us in the scriptures, do not be unbelieving, but believe.